All right, so for this video, I'm going to talk about basically the subject of the internet and like NPCs, because like this is a trend that I've noticed, or like an intuitive download I've been getting, which is that most of like the comments on the internet, first of all, don't seem to be real. And like there'll be times where like I'll be scrolling through like YouTube Shorts or something, or I'll watch a video, and and like what I'll see is I'll see comments, and like most of those comments are like it feels like those comments are there just to piss people off, and it feels like they're not even from real people. It's like it literally, like the energy, like it doesn't feel like a real person made that comment, right? And this is linked with like the whole dead internet theory, which is that which is that like most like internet users are actually just bots, right? But that is a crazy thing that I've noticed, and this is linked with like the internet's role in generating loosh in this energy farm, and the internet's role in generating loosh, the internet's role in like the energy in the energy harvesting, and I've talked about this in a previous video, that social media is essentially like a prototype for generating predictable emotional responses with like the YouTube Shorts with memes and stuff like that. Like that is a prototype. Like the social media is a prototype for the technology that they're going to deploy when they put the chip in the brain, or when they try to. I mean, we can stop it if we choose to, but that is their plan. Their plan is to have social media be a sort of like the precursor to generating those predetermined emotional responses using the algorithm and everything else. Whenever they have like AI hooked up directly to the brain, like social media is sort of like a prototype for that. And I talked about that in another video when I talked about AI. But just looking at that, so like that's the first thing that I wanted to mention, is that I've noticed that like a lot of the comments on the internet don't seem to be from real people, and a lot of them also are there simply to generate a negative emotional response. It seems like these people are making this just comments just to piss people off, and it seems like that is a part of the loosh harvesting thing. Because can you imagine like the arguments that happen on Twitter? Can you imagine how much loosh that Twitter generates in a single day? Can you imagine how much loosh arguments in the comments generate every single day? If you think about it from a loosh harvesting perspective, right? Social media is one of the greatest loosh producers in recent history, and people do it, like people voluntarily go online, and they get into arguments, and they disagree with like other people's political views and stuff like that. So you have to realize that social media and getting into arguments and getting mad at people, first of all, the person that you're getting mad at in the comments might not even be real. It might be a bot. It might be some like a fed just promoting a certain agenda and stuff like that. I mean, you can look at like Eglin Air Force Base and like Reddit, for example. Like most of the activity that happens on Reddit happens from Eglin Air Force Base, right? So you do have like the majority of the majority of the people that use Reddit are feds, basically. They're from the military industrial complex. This is something that you have to realize, that the internet is full of NPCs. It's full of bots. It's full of, and it's there. I believe it's designed specifically to generate as much loosh as possible. You use it by, and yet again, some of those comments, like because I mean, I'll go through the comments, and sometimes I'll just see like a single letter E in the comments or something like that, or I'll see like something that is it's so uneducated and so like like some of these comments seem to be just there just to piss people off. Like it's so illogical, it's so dumb that it can't have been from a real person, or it might have been from a person with a soul, but they're so stuck in the program that their behavior is completely determined by the matrix. And so it's like some of these people don't even seem real, and you can extend this to the physical realm, to real life, because a lot of the people, because I remember thinking about like the subject of like road rage, right? Yeah, like especially like in Texas, right, where you have which is where I live, right? You have all these like people in like the Dodge Ram trucks and everything else, like they get road rage, and they bypass you and they honk at you and all this other stuff, right? It seems like a lot of the people that you think are real are essentially just backdrop people without a soul, or they're like hologram people, it would seem. And a lot of these people are yet again are there for the explicit purpose of generating this loosh, generating this negative energy, and that seems to be the goal or the role that is that these NPCs play, is that they're there essentially to either get in your way or to piss you off as much as possible, to try to push your buttons, as they say. And yet again, because like most people aren't real. The majority of people don't have souls. The majority, and this is why they act in such a stupid way. Like they act in a way that like it doesn't feel like this person is actually a real person. They're acting in such a predictable, programmable, emotional, uneducated way. It's almost like they've been taken over by like a body snatcher or something, right? And so yeah, I just really wanted to like talk about like how I think that like going back to like the internet, right? I do think that like most of the the internet users that are online aren't real people, right? Like they're like a lot of the comments that you see that are like super uneducated, they're super like illogical, super ill-informed. It's like it's so stupid. Like how could a real person actually believe it? It's probably not a real person. And I think that a lot of uh like the people who promote like the mainstream agendas and stuff like that, and they're saying, and I can't believe like there's still people out there that don't think conspiracy theories are real. Like there's still people out there that are still asleep, and I think those people are beyond saving. Those people can't be unplugged, and they've probably never been unplugged in the first place because they're probably NPCs, right? So I just wanted to point that out, that I do think that a lot of the comments and a lot of like the people that you interact with online are probably not real. They're probably bots, right? Yet again, the dead internet theory. That's the synopsis of the dead internet theory, is that the majority of online activity is done by bots and not real people, right? And especially with like Chat GPT and like AI generated stuff. I mean, it's very possible that like most of the like, the internet users you interact with are probably not real. And on top of that, you have like a lot. I think it's either like the bots are programmed to do this, or it might be real people just trying to get people angry. Right? It's like these people are like energy vampires. Like they're saying something that's it's like rage bait, right? That's like most of like what this is that a lot of like these NPCs, a lot of these like bots online, a lot of internet. A lot of like the internet as a whole, like social media as a whole, is designed as a loosh generating apparatus. And I've just noticed that. Like I've just noticed that like a lot of the people online, like a lot of like the NPCs, like they don't see like, a lot of like the people online, the comments, the people that I see like arguing in the comments, like it doesn't seem real. Like if you actually take a step back and you look at it, you're like, what was it? Was that really like an actual real person? Because like what they said the most dumb shit ever, or they're just saying like it just like, and I don't. Sometimes I'll even see some comments that like it's like a nothing burger. Like they'll just say random statements with no point, or no, or like they'll just say like random stuff with like no point, and like random and like the periodization, or like the way they put periods and the way they space stuff in between their sentences is like it's like so weird that like it feels like it comes from a bot, right? But yeah, and you could extend that behavior to real life, which is that like most of the people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis are probably not real. They're probably there in my opinion, I think some of them are there to keep tabs on you, but a lot of them are there to essentially just push your buttons, or or they're just active, or they're just like not real people, and they're just they're completely locked into the program. They've never, and you can look at certain people and just tell that they've never had like an original thought in their life. You can just tell, right? Just by looking at them, their demeanor, you can just feel the vibes. Like this person's never had an original thought in their life. Like there's nothing. It's like lights on, but no one's home kind of vibes. And going back to like the whole NPCs are there to keep track of you. I do think that like there is a reason why whenever you go to the workplace, and it's like you have people that like they're asking you every personal, like every single personal detail about your life, and they're asking like, oh, what about this, what about this, what about this? Like it's like they inundate you with questions about your personal life, and when you deflect the questions, or you decide, and like I don't want to talk about that right now, like it's like they get mad or something. It's like they get, and I don't know if it's like jealousy, or like they think that you're being aggressive or whatever. But it's like there's certain people where it's like if you don't divulge every piece of personal information about your personal life, it's like they get mad. And so I do think that some of these NPCs that exist and they look like physically real people, but they're just hologram, people without a soul. I do think that some of them are placed there to keep tabs on people, and this goes back to like why you shouldn't disclose anything about your personal life to random strangers, because yet again, like the Matrix might be listening, and if you disclose personal plans about what you plan to do in your personal life, your ambitions, like you want to do this and this, then like, it's almost like the Matrix gets alerted and they have more avenues to fuck you up with. And so I do think that's definitely a real thing to watch out for, is that most of the people that you interact with probably aren't real people, and you should be careful who you share, personal information with. You, especially if you're like a truther or if you're like a conspiracy theorist, you should be very, very careful about who you tell certain information to. Um, but yeah, I mean, the internet's there to generate loosh. I believe that the internet is there to generate loosh. It's a loosh generating asset or apparatus, and I think that like the social media, it's sort of like a precursor to the stuff that they're going to try to put in the brain chip so they can get loosh on demand. Most of the people you interact with on the internet and IRL aren't real. They're there. They're sort of there to piss you off. They're there to monitor you and to try to get information out of you, to try to generate loot, right? Because NPCs, the role of NPCs, right, is that they're a part of the loot generating apparatus. It's like you have people like they act so stupid they make you angry, or they get angry at you and they just are. It's almost like Skyrim NPCs, right? Like there's some people that like they act so retarded that like it's like this person cannot be real. Like this person cannot have a soul. Like how a person with a soul, with a consciousness, would never have this kind of behavior, right? And I do think that if we want to go deeper into like the role of NPCs in this matrix, right? I do think that like the role of NPCs seems to be primarily for you have like the monitoring, you have the loose generating, right? But I do think another role of the NPCs is shaping the opinions of real people by creating this illusion of a public opinion, right? And this is something that'll happen a lot, where basically what'll happen is that somebody might come to a conclusion with their gut feeling, with their intuition, but what'll happen is they might get backlash for that opinion online. Yet again, online you don't know who's real or not, so it might just be all of the NPCs might just like all of the NPCs and all of like the feds that are like running all these fake accounts, like they might back and give you backlash for having a certain opinion, and then like what'll happen is that if you say an opinion, or if you hear somebody else say a certain opinion that you came up with your own gut feeling, intuition, then what'll happen is that you'll see the backlash, and then what'll happen is that you'll either backtrack on that opinion, or you'll adopt a watered down version of your original gut feeling. What you'll do is you'll water down your gut feeling with what the NPCs want you to believe, and so this is like another role of like the NPCs in this matrix, is that they're there to essentially shape the opinions of the real souls that are in here by creating this illusion of public opinion. Well, everyone believes this, and so what they're doing is they're gaslighting you away from gut feeling, away from intuition, by creating this illusion that everyone agrees with this opinion, that this is the consensus, even though the consensus opinion that you see online might not even be real, right? The consensus opinion of what you see online, the consensus opinion of what you see even in real life, right? It might not even be real. Like what's popular, like what's consensus, what's considered acceptable, might not. It might be determined by the majority NPCs, right? NPCs might be determining what the public consensus is, and this is the same thing with voting. This is the same thing, and so voting might be rigged, but it might not be rigged in the way that you think. They might just be able to control the voting patterns of all the Sims, basically. And so I think that that's another role of NPCs in this matrix is they're there to sort of get you mad, piss you off, generate loose. So they're there to sort of monitor you, but they're also there to create the illusion of a consensus, to create the illusion of a public opinion that probably doesn't exist for the actual souls. But because they can control the Sims technologically, then they can make populations behave in a certain way that benefits the system, because most of the population isn't real. But yeah, that's the video.